Sri P. Wilson, please. Honorable P. Wilson.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. Dr. Ambedkar said, the test of a good government is not how much revenue it collects, but how it spends it and whom it benefits. And this budget would be Dr. Ambedkar's worst fear. It doesn't benefit the farmer, the worker, the graduate, the entrepreneur, and certainly not the states. It buries the federal spirit of our constitution. We are told this is a budget for Viksit Bharat. Nothing can be further from the truth. The government projects a nominal GDP growth of 10% with a total expenditure of 53.47 lakh crores and a fiscal deficit target of 4.3%. Chairman, sir, we are all very concerned with India's debt trap, which is on a deadly spiral. India's debt has risen to rupees 215 trillion, approximately 56% of the GDP, and there is no clear plan in place even after 16 years of BJP rule to reduce debt. There is no denying that debt is an engine for growth, but debt has to lead to income, expansion, or capacity building. You cannot be borrowing to pay your earlier debts, with interest payments accounting for nearly 1/4 of Union government's expenditure and around 40% of the revenue receipts for 26-27. The government seems clueless on how to escape this debt trap. The Honourable Finance Minister has spoken about the fiscal consolidation, but is there any real progress? The fiscal deficit is projected to dip only slightly from 4.4% of GDP this year to 4.3% next year, and the centre's debt GDP ratio to 55.6% from 56.1%. At this place, it will take decades to get the debt GDP ratio down to the 40% targeted by the N.K. Singh's committee. The BJP loves to attack Tamil Nadu government on its debt, but at least our Honourable Chief Minister, Dravida model government, is borrowing to build schools, hospitals, roads, things that would lead to tangible benefit. I don't see that with the union budget. Sir, the entire nation is very concerned about this trade deal with the USA that Capitol Hill is rejoicing, but we are yet to hear about this in detail from Raisina Hill. First of all, we are very unhappy with the abject surrender to US. India is a proud nation and civilization. This weaponization of tariff should have pressurized the government into submissions. Secondly, how we have welcomed to $500 billion of American exports in 5 years. The total US-India bilateral goods trade was just $132.13 billion in 2025. Now you have committed to purchasing $100 billion every year from America. Who consumes this? Which domestic products do the US goods replace? We have seen media reports that we are eliminating our reducing tariff on US-made industrial goods, foods and agriculture, but the US will continue a 18% tariff on textiles, leather goods, organic chemicals, goods originating from India. Is this fair? Why we have agreed to this obviously one-sided trade deal that will cause irreparable hardships to our domestic manufacturers and farmers? The impact of US tariff on the textile industry in India, especially Tamil Nadu, is terrible. Far from compensating them for the loss suffered over the past few decades due to this abrupt tariff that saw exports being put on hold, the new trade deal's uncertainty is adding to the stress. One of the Prime Minister's pet scheme is Atmanirbhar Bharat. I hope the BJP government remembers this slogan and the lion they proudly unveiled as a symbol for Make in India. Has a ferocious lion become a pet cat in front of US? What happened to our Indian-made goods? Sir, the union government has to disclose the specifics to this August House and to the nation so that the farmer, the business owner, the entrepreneur knows how to plan this business in the coming years. Sir, India has one of the highest tax rates in the world. The continuation of the dual tax regimes with the differing exemption limits, rates and rebate structures has increased confusion rather than clarity, particularly due to the denial of marginal relief under the old regime and lack of special relief for senior citizens under the new regime. The withdrawal of saving links deduction is discouraging long-term savings and burdening taxpayers who made commitments based on the earlier incentives. Procedural inefficiencies persist, including long time timelines for rectification, condemnation and disposal of petitions, both in the Income Tax Act and GST, causing hardships through delayed relief and coercive recoveries. Sir, the union needs to create more benches of IT-AT and GST-AT and appoint more members. Businesses cannot spend years before courts with uncertainty. If the cases are decided one way or other, they may make provisions for liability and move on. But uncertainty kills the business. Sir, at this time, I want to ask the union government through this August House, what happened to all tax evaders who fled abroad, who you promised to bring back to India and collect the arrears? They are still enjoying life abroad, whereas taxpayers' money is used to waive off the loans of their companies. Now, let us look at the infrastructure, which the government probably calls the crown jewel of this budget. They announced 12.2 lakh crores for capital spending, 3.1 lakh crores for roads, 2.8 lakh crores for railways, and big promises of new economic regions. It sounds impressive, but the real question is simple. Where is the execution? Years after years, projects don't even spend the full money allocated. However, this budget keeps pouring money into flashy mega projects like the bullet trains and freight corridors, while ignoring basic sustainable city planning schemes like Amrut and smart cities get no fresh funding, just extensions. And let us talk about the fairness. This infrastructure push is becoming anti-federal and politically biased. The Honorable Railway Minister claims Tamil Nadu railway allocation has increased 7.5 times since 2014 compared to UPA regime, and repeats as if it is doing us a favor. But look at the reality. The national railway budget has grown 25 times since 2014, while Tamil Nadu gets only 7.5 times. Compare this with other states. Gujarat, 29 times increase. Delhi, 27 times increase. Chhattisgarh, 24 times increase. Madhya Pradesh, 23 times increase. Maharashtra, 20 times increase. Uttar Pradesh, 18 times increase. Even today, the union government has not approved the Coimbatore and Madurai metro rail projects, which are critical for our growing cities. This is a real problem with this budget. It favors spectacle over real needs, politics over people, and central control over the federal fairness. Infrastructure is being used as a political tool, not as a means to build the nations equally. Let me now turn to agriculture and rural India. The budget allocates 1.63 lakh crores. The government speaks about the artificial intelligence in framing under Bharat Vistar and new schemes for cashew, cocoa and fisheries. But farmers across India have been asking one basic question for years. Where is the legal guarantee for the minimum support price? Farmers' real income are not rising, but corporates are being pushed into agriculture value chains. MSME, which actually create more jobs, are left behind. This budget lacks the specific announcement that the MSME industry is expected. I request the creation of the Emergency Relief Fund to protect MSME from the natural disaster, pandemic and foreign force measures like tariff. Manufacturing jobs are still stuck at 12% of the total employment, yet there is no serious labor reform or skill-to-job plan. Health gets 1.06 crores with PMJ at 9,500 crores and some drug duty cuts. These are far from enough. Funds under schemes like PM Abhiyam remain unused because of the digital gaps and planning failures. Trauma centers are promised, but access remains uneven. Gender and child welfare allocations fall short. The National Health Policy 2017 set a target of increasing total public health expenditure to 2.5% of GDP by 2025. Spending, however, remains at 1.7% of the GDP as per the Economic Survey 2025. Our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Udayanidhi Stalin, has been reminding the BJP for the last 5 years that Madurai AIMS has not been completed, and AIMS Madurai classrooms are operating from Ramnath districts. It looks like first batch of students graduating from Madurai AIMS would graduate without even looking at their campus. Spending on the health is not charity. You are investing in your citizens and the country will reap the benefits. Education and youth are mentioned, but where are the jobs? Youth unemployment remains high and internships are offered without any guarantee for employment. You promised 2 crore jobs which created every year. It has been 12 years. Where are 24 crore jobs created? You promised doubling farmer income, but you did nothing to increase this. Increase in inequality with top 1% holding 40% wealth. Sir, this budget on social welfare and the previous year budgets have shown an alarming neglect for the social welfare sectors. One thing is low allocations of even worse is the terribly low utilization of allocated funds. This budget has allocated 18% of expenditure to the social sector, Taken as a share of GDP, the social sector has received 2.5% lower than 2014-15 when this NDA government presented its first budget. In 2024 and 25, the latest year for which the actual spending data are available, social sector spending fell to an all-time low in a decade of 17% of total expenditure, with only rupees 7.7 lakh crores spent. The Ministry of Labour and Employment, which funds social security schemes for workers, such as pensions for the industrial workers, unorganized workers under the Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandan, and also for shopkeepers, retail traders, and self-employment person under the Pradhan Mantri Karam Yogi Madan, spent just over half of this budget. Everyone knows how much the BJP detests the word socialist in a preamble merely because of who put it there. But such consistent neglect of such social sector is catastrophic for India's less fortunate citizens. Sir, with regard to the increase in allocation for defense, I request the Honorable Finance Minister to focus on the human aspect of our armed forces. Though the man-made mission balance in warfare has tilted towards technology, our men and women in uniform are the most important part of the armed force. I request the Honorable Finance Minister to approve the pending claims and grievances of the armed personnel pertaining to rationalization of pay and one rank, one pension. Sir, we are on the cusp of artificial intelligence revolution. Artificial intelligence is about to change the way human lives. We are lagging behind in funding artificial intelligence and data sectors. I would like to see more from the Union government on energy transition, semiconductors, and artificial intelligence. While I note that the budget allocation for semiconductor 2.0 and tax holiday for till 2047 for all foreign investors who invest in India data centers, this is far from enough. We have an international image as a tech country. We should back India tech and India data industry more. Sir, I am also pained to note the policy allocation of 4,000 crores to Law and Justice Ministry. At the same time, government is spending rupees 2 lakh crores on Mumbai-Ahmedabad bullet train. Sir, establishing and spending on courts is not a luxury. It is a fundamental need to preserve a democratic system of government with rule of law at its heart. Access to speedy justice is a fundamental right. When litigants obtain quick justice, it contributes to the progress of the nations. Several courts and tribunals are languishing without judges, staff, basic infrastructure. I request the Honorable Finance Minister to significantly increase the allocation of funds to the Ministry of Law and Justice. Sir, I wish to quote a Tirukural at this juncture. Yetralum, Eatalum, Kathalum, Kata Vaguthalum, Valla Darasu. For the members from other state, it means to build, to earn, to guard, to preserve, and to share. One who masters the cycle alone is worthy to govern. So sharing is an important part of governance, especially in a republic with federal structure. For several years, Tamil Nadu have consistently argued that the union government's approach to tax devolution has systematically disadvantaged developed and high-performing states, including Tamil Nadu. Once again, the demand raised by many states that the shares of the states in the divisible pool of taxes be increased from 41% to 50% has been ignored. The share remains frozen at 41%. In contrast, 16 Finance Commission reduces allocation by 2.5% for controlling population as allocation democratic performance reduced from 12.5% to 10%. Further, the contrast in tax devolution towards north and south is clear. Uttar Pradesh alone receives 17.62% of the divisible pool. Bihar receives 9.95%. Madhya Pradesh receives 7.35%. These three states together account for 35% of tax devolution. Now compare this with the entire southern region. All South Indian states combined receive only 17% despite contributing approximately 31% of India's GDP. What makes this more concerning is that even when 16th Finance Commission acknowledged the role of states in driving India's economic growth, the final allocation still fails to adequately recognize India's contribution. Sir, you normally place your best batsman as the opening batsman. If Tamil Nadu is your best performer, you should cherish and showcase the state, not undercut it at every turn. We have delivered 11.4% growth last year. Why this discrimination? Tamil Nadu, which has the second largest state economy and plays a vital role in national growth, has been allotted only 4.097% in tax devolution for the coming 5 years. The concerns do not end here. Consider the Jal Jeevan Mission. Tamil Nadu has repeatedly pointed out 3,112 crores requested and the scheme has not been released. This when the Jal Jeevan Mission has spent only 17,000 crores of 60,000 crores, estimately by the budget 25-26. So the union is allocating the funds on paper just to give a media bite that such a large sum has been allocated, but it is not spent and more importantly, not devolved to the states. Even more troubling is a sharp reduction in the national allocation from 67,000 crore in the budget estimates to only 17,000 crore in the revised estimates. This raises serious concern about the future of a scheme that directly affects drinking water access. Similarly, allocations for the rural roads under the Prime Minister Gram Sadak Yoja have been reduced from 90,000 crores to 11,000 crores. The rural housing scheme has been allocation dropped from 35,832 crores to 32,500 crores. And perhaps the most striking example is the PM internship scheme announced with great enthusiasm last year at 10,831 crores, but reduced in the revised estimates to rupees 526 crores. Such a drastic reduction inevitably raises doubts about the planning, execution and seriousness of the intent. Yet none have been announced. Funds of rupees 3,548 crores under the Samagra Shiksha scheme remain withheld for refusing to accept Hindi imposition. The 3,112 crores pending under the Jal Jeevan Mission remains unaddressed. As our Honorable Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister have repeatedly said, you have not even mentioned Tamil Nadu in the budget. There is no new project, no significant new commitment. Pairarranger Anna once said, வடநாட்டு வணிகரே இரும்பு எஃகு பருத்தி முதலிய பொருட்களை கொண்டு நடத்தப்படும் ஆலை அரசுகளாக்கி நம்மவர்கள் ஆட்டுவிக்கும் ஆற்றல் பெற்றுவிட்டனர். தேசிய இயக்கம் அவர்கள் இயக்கமாகிவிட்டது. இந்த காரியத்திற்கு பெரும் பணம் உதவியே அரசர்களுடன் கிடைக்கிறது. முதலாளித்துவம் தேசியமும் ஒன்றாக இணைந்திருக்கிறது. இத்துடன் மதமும் இணைந்து கிடைக்கிறது. இந்த முக்கூட்டு பயங்கர விளைவுகளுக்கு ஏற்றதினால் தான் இந்த அழிக்க உண்மையான விடுதலை உணர்ச்சி உள்ளவரை துடிக்கிறார்கள். Sir, so enough budget, so every budget is an opportunity for political rhetoric. The budget itself should be a fair, impartial document in keeping with the constitutional ethos. Under the BJP, the union budget has become a political tool to punish the states that do not elect the NDA and reward states with NDA. Such a misuse of the budget is disastrous for the country. If Article 14 of the Constitution is applied to the present budget, it will be quashed in a moment as it is highly discriminatory in terms of allocation. Madam, what you give to Tamil Nadu will come back to you. Since you have not given anything, nothing will come back to you. Sir, Tamil Nadu is a jewel on the India's crown. We are your best performing state. We have just crossed Pakistan GDP. So, through this August House, I call upon the Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Finance Minister to be fair to the Tamil Nadu. Thank you very much, Chairman, sir.
Thank you. Honorable Finance Minister.
Come back to this House and reply for every one of the speeches, sir. But because an absolutely incorrect statement has been made by a very senior advocate of the Supreme Court, I just want to say one thing. I will reply.
She has the right to
Manya
speak.
Digvijay Singh, bet karke, he targets a lot of comments on me, but I want to tell him he's a very senior member.
You're not, so please,
if he is allowed
please
to sit and give commentary, I'm allowed to stand if you permit me to say a commentary, no? So, Honorable Member Wilson, among many other things that he read out rather than spoke, one thing stood out for me, sir. Tamil Nadu has no new projects given. Absolutely wrong. I'll just count at the tip of my finger 4 things readily. What is the rare earth corridor? Is it not going to Tamil Nadu? Yes. Every district to get one girls' hostel is not for Tamil Nadu. Fishermen getting a benefit to go into the deep sea and also their products to be treated as an export if they go from the high sea to any other destination is not going to benefit Tamil Nadu. The coconut scheme is not going to benefit farmers in Tamil Nadu who are keeping coconut trees. And also the allied health, a related thing where we are saying a medical hub can be created on a challenge mode. Tamil Nadu can bid for it and they won't get it, sir. So I've just sort of off the cuff said a few things. Sweeping statements like this without any basis link with the budget which has been presented only 8 days ago is not right at all.
थैंक यू माननीय सदस्यगण प्लीज नहीं प्लीज माननीय सदस्यगण ये आप सबसे अपेक्षा की जाती है कि रिटन स्पीच पढ़ने के बजाय अपने आप पॉइंट्स कहें। प्लीज आप सभी सदस्यों से डू नॉट रीड, यू आर नॉट सपोज टू रीड योर रिटन स्टेटमेंट्स। प्लीज माननीय श्री राघव चड्ढा।